Ah, there we go! Target coming around! Galore let out enthusiastically. Tom peering up to confirm the black was indeed banking into a turn and coming back at them. They had only been flying for a while, the keep having slipped out of sight behind them, though they were still in the rolling hills. Doesn't look like she's surrendering. You want her done quick and painless, or slow and agonizing? Galore roared out. Tom swearing he could feel her writhe with anticipation. Just try and take her alive, Tom replied, still trying to come to terms with how nonchalant Galore was being, as he shouted over the screaming wind. They were heading straight on, and he very much doubted she was acid-proof. Very well, hang on tight, loop your arms with the harness, enjoy the show. Also, I will be taking suggestions only. You are not in command today. Noted, Tom replied, cursing to himself a bit as he felt her shuffle her shoulders. You are never getting as much as a damn air rifle, you psychopath. He did as he was told, though, as Galore pulled up, beating her wings with renewed effort, and climbing fast and steep. Tom couldn't help but look out to the side to gawk at the massive wings driving them upwards. It was pretty incredible to see them working that fast as they shot upwards. He felt Fengi grab his hand. Looking over, she had her head buried in Galore's back, looking more than a little scared. Tom just gave her hand a squeeze as they climbed, nearly reaching vertical. Then Tom heard the, by now familiar hiss of acid being launched. Galore rolled over onto her back, pulling out further before inverting fully. Tom looked up, which was now down, to see the stream of acid whizzing past beneath them. The black dragon came past a bit below that, being forced to evade her own mist acid spray. Missed! Galore shuttered out, as Tom then felt them go weightless. Galore let herself fall backwards, the massive creature heaving around faster than he thought possible, twisting like a corkscrew. She let herself drop down a bit lower than the black dragon, using the sacrifice height to come back up to speed before beating her wings again, as she started chasing the black dragon again. This time, though, she too was beating hard, starting to gain on the black, who now had less than 400 meters on them. Go on, shake me! Galore shouted out tauntingly, though Tom doubted the black could hear them right now. As she started to close the range enough that the black could probably make her out, she started right back up with the taunting. And tell you what, I won't even try to shoot you down. Come on, try and kill me. Or you could just give up. I'll let you keep your wings if you do. By now, Tom was starting to wonder if grabbing Fengi as a parachute was a smart option here. They were well within firing range, which could mean only one thing when it came to Galore's plan here. Their target responded by trying a series of rather desperate-looking maneuvers, turns, jukes, and dives as Galore kept getting ever closer. Nah, fuck it, Galore let out, as Tom felt the hairs on the back of his head stand on end. The ominous, high-pitched hum spooling up for a short second, before Galore fired. The black let out a roar as she was hit in the back of the leg. Tom watching intently. The limb was still there, but a large patch of blue flesh had opened up, large enough he could see it from here. It took a second for the black dragon to respond. She did so by pulling a cobra, coming to a dead stop, Galore being forced to evade as she turned well clear of the now nearly stationary dragon. The reason for Galore's caution became apparent as a stream of acid shot out from the dragon's maw. There was not a lot of it though, and it was a rather short burst, at least in comparison to the massive fountain of acid she had let loose back at the keep, or even her last shot. Oh, someone is out of juice, Galore just chuckled, before shouting loud enough Tom was sure the black could hear her. You done fucked up now? Why doesn't she just surrender? Fengi shouted out, having let go of Tom's hand to hold onto the harness. I think someone has been to the mines before, hasn't she? Galore shouted out, as she circled the black dragon, who was now desperately trying to work some speed back up. What's the matter, shitstain? Scared of a little work? They didn't get a reply as the black started on a new course, wing beast having slowed slightly by now. Tom was honestly amazed at how well the black dragon had kept flying this half for so long. Galore had done at least something to conserve energy, and she hardly even seemed winded yet. Surely the black was hard pushed by now, though. His thoughts were quickly confirmed, as Galore rapidly closed the gap this time, having used the spare time to get a bit more altitude, now shadowing her target from above. The black tried to evade, juking left and right as Galore dove on her target, slashing with her blades again and again. It took a few tries before she eventually just managed to connect, clipping the black dragon's back, drawing blood before the target managed to drop away beneath them, doubling back the way she had come. Come on, you lost a while ago, just give in, Galore roared before sighing, glancing back at her passengers. She's just so no good, this one. Tom was trying to work out if Galore was just playing with her right now. She wasn't shooting, and surely she could have managed to land a proper slash or stab by now. Is she playing with her? Or just trying to make her surrender? Tom pondered to himself. He decided that it was probably the surrender part. At least he hoped so. Yes, she is, Tom shouted at in reply, moving to look over the side, down at the black, who was still trying to make a run for it. Don't worry, I'll make her yield. Eventually, Galore replied, as she turned around again, following the now very clearly slowing dragon. As Galore settled onto the black's tail again, Tom felt her charging for a second shot, when the target abruptly pulled into an even harder 180-degree turn than previously, bleeding a lot of speed doing so. Galore fired and missed, the shot glancing off the Black Dragon's ass as she manoeuvred into a head-on pass once more. Galore didn't climb this time though, instead heading straight for the Black Dragon on gliding wings. Galore? Tom let out an alarm, eyes going wide. Hang on back there! Oh shit, was all Tom got out as he hunkered down, head peeking up just enough to see. He saw the two Dragonet brigands jump off the Black just before Galore reared up the vertical, braking hard only seconds before they would have hit. Tom just held his breath as he felt the dragon pull G's to slow down. Then the two dragons hit, Tom slamming into Galore's back like he had just been in a car crash, counting his blessings that at least her back was a little soft. The Black Dragon screamed and wailed rather than roared, as Tom heard Galore ram her blades into the Black Dragon's chest. Her tail swung around like a whip, driving the massive metal spike into her target's back. The greater mass of the Black Dragon drove them backwards through the air as they began to fall. Looking up, Tom saw the Black Dragon's head lunge for Galore's neck, only screwing a glancing hit, a smattering of acid dripping off her teeth. Galore retaliated, pouncing at the Black Dragon's neck and biting down hard with the sound of yielding steel. He felt Galore shake and shudder under him as she contorted her legs and kicked at the Black Dragon's stomach. Though the Black did not seem to reply in kind, Galore letting out nothing but a satisfied-sounding rumble as she tore her roaring target to shreds. Thinking back to her earlier shots, one had the Black's hind legs, the other probably had the same destination. Tom could see the Black Dragon try to pull her head away, Galore finally letting go of her jaws, though the two remained entangled. And now we clip her wings! Galore roared out, almost maniacally, as she drew back a bladed arm and stabbed again. Tom heard yet another gurgling scream escaping the Black Dragon, as he felt Galore let go. She then kicked off against the Black Dragon's chest like a squirrel in a pool, Tom hanging on for dear life as he heard Bo let out a surprised scream as she fell off, tumbling backwards. Once free, Galore rolled over onto her chest again, beating her wings a few times before starting to circle back. Bo came hurriedly back, wings pumping frantically, as she sat down and Galore's back again, clinging to her leather strap for dear life. No one told you to disembark, Galore laughed, as she admired her handiwork. Looking over his right shoulder, trying to see past Fengi and Essie, he saw the Black Dragon plummeting towards the ground, one wing hanging limp, the other desperately flailing around. She hid with a sickening crunch and yet another scream rang out, though it soon faded to sound, more like a whimper. How the fuck is she still alive? Tom exclaimed, as he stared at the still moving, if clearly completely crippled Black Dragon that lay ruined on the ground beneath them. I guess she really was as tough as she looked. Fucking idiot though, Galore replied. Her demeanour once again flipped totally, sounding like she was looking at a mediocre sports event. Honestly, why tire yourself out trying to run? It's going to get you nowhere. And did you not even see the blades? I mean, come on! Why did you do that? Tom broke out. Couldn't you have just shot her down? Sure, where's the fun in that? And besides, you said you wanted her alive, Galore dismissed. Then hit a wing or something, Tom protested. Jeez, fine. I'll blow her head off if she gets up again. What about those two? Galore questioned, looking to the flame brigands who were booking it towards the forest. I want to talk with her. You said they won't make it off the island, right? I mean, they might try. Dangerous trip for a dragonet to make, though. What do you think? Tom questioned, looking at Essie, the middle-aged mother being the senior huntress present. I mean, they will make it into the wild for a while, but winter is coming. I don't know. They might make it. I wouldn't risk it myself, though. If they want to be sure they will live, they will come back to the keep, Fengi added. Even mine work is not worth dying to avoid. Let's let them go, then, Tom replied. We'll just let Dereva and Highstone know to keep an eye out. Interrogation time it is, then, Galore concluded, coming into land. Yeah, she might have something to say, Tom let out, looking at the stricken beast. She was big. Bigger than Galore, though she could not stand up to Baron, that was for sure, meaning she must be old. He couldn't help but think how much use a dragon like that could have been. If it hadn't been such an arsehole. Shit! Galore then let out, sounding genuinely distraught. What? What is it? Tom questioned, fearing they too were going to be making an emergency landing. Are you hurt? As he shouted out, seemingly sharing his concern. I broke one of my blades! Kolk had arrived to help tend to the wounded, Saf getting her leg looked at soon enough, though the cuts on her face would have to wait. She had hobbled out of the infirmary, leaning on Marko to make room for some of the brigands who needed more serious aid, as she was going to be fine after all. That, and she had someone to go shout at. She had already explained in a bit greater detail what had happened to Marko, Ray and the Major. Marko in particular seemed quite displeased with what had happened, the two of them currently heading for the greeting hall where Jarex had come in to land not too long ago. It had been quite the sight to see the damage up close when Saf stepped through the door. Jarex was standing in the middle of the hall, Saf guessing it would be quite painful for him to lie down. His underside had turned almost black, and a smell of burned meat hung heavy in the air, to the point it was almost sickening. Jarex, though, seemed more busy talking with Rachuk, who was probably briefing the dragon on what was going on down here. The dragon looked more than a little worried as he kept talking. Zarko and Radexi were hard at work getting the harness and armor off to clean what they could in terms of wounds. He had taken a few arrows, but nothing major. Saf was lost for a moment looking at him. He had taken the hit for them. Granted, he hadn't really been given a choice, but that amount of fire would have likely burnt her and the others to a crisp. Jackie was currently busy cutting up pieces of dead skin, tossing it into a bucket. Marko set Saf down on the chair that was standing up against the wall, just as Jackie noticed them. She quickly sheathed a knife, running over to Saf and giving her a quick once-over, mouth moving very fast. "I can't hear shit, dummy. Radexi blew my ears out," Saf replied with a bemused expression. It was nice to know Jackie had gotten out in one piece after a little stunt, which likely had something to do with her current energy level. Marko handed Jackie the slate just as she started doing what Saf could best describe as an interpretive dance, seemingly trying to recount the fighting from her perspective. "Calm down, Go. I saw you kill that thing," Saf chuckled, leaning back in the chair. Jackie looked quite frustrated, clenching her fist, almost like she wanted to punch someone out of sheer excitement. Marko looked a touch worried as she glanced at him. She just took the slate he was holding, though, quickly jotting something down and excitedly showing it to Sapphire. "I know, right?" was all it said, as she handed the tablet back and gave Saf a hug that cracked her spine a few times, the chair coming with as Saf was lifted off the ground. "Oh, that's the spot," Saf mused to herself, even if she was struggling to breathe. Jackie did at least put her back down again rather quickly. "Glad to feel you're all right," Saf joked, shuffling her shoulders a little, hoping to make the pain go away. Jackie quickly scribbled away again, Saf honestly struggling to read the result once Jackie turned the pad around again. "Did you see the kill?" was Saf's best guess. "Yes, Jackie, I saw you. You're fucking crazy, you know that, right?" "You mean awesome?" came the hurriedly written reply, accompanied by what Saf guessed was a raucous laugh. "You suck at spelling when you were in a hurry, Jackie," Saf chuckled, sitting back down on her chair. "How's Jarex?" Saf could see the dragon reply, Jackie shouting something back. Saf just waited her turn as Jackie got back to writing. "Sleeping's gonna suck," was all it said, the grin in Jackie's face confirming that Jarex was probably going to be fine. If not, Jackie hadn't figured it out yet. "Excellent. Could you fetch Radexi for me?" Saf questioned, quickly glancing at Marko. Jackie just gave a quick salute before running off to fetch her target, Saf pulling a slight smile. She hadn't kicked the bucket on his account, but she might as well have. And she still had one hell of a headache right now. By the sense of what Jordan had to say, that little fucker might have saved lives, but that was not going to stop her from scolding the guy, that was for sure. She had expected him to look like a guilty kid being dragged into her mother's room. What she got was a soldier at attention looking dead ahead, Jackie blabbering away and pointing up at the machine gun, clearly asking questions. "Could you wait just a little bit, Jackie?" Saf questioned, looking over at Dexy. "Why did you decide it was a good idea to try and kill me?" Jackie looked a touch apprehensive before handing over the slate to him, looking like she wished him good luck. He remained very professional and took quite some time writing down his response. "My lack of familiarity with the weapon led me to forget it may not be fired with the muzzle in close proximity of a person, unlike a ballista, in which I have trained. I am sorry." Saf just sighed, looking at him. "You forgot?" she questioned, trying to sound as disappointed as possible. "You were told several times, hell, even I know. And I was not even trying to fire the damn thing," Saf shouted out. "How the hell do you forget that?" Radexi didn't respond immediately, instead of mulling it over for a second or two, before he started to write again. "My focus was on the target. I had to nail him, or he risked losing the fight." "Jarex, losing a turning fight?" Saf questioned, trying very hard to sound unconvinced, which she was. "Look at him," Radexi put down in a more hurried fashion, pointing back at the dragon. Saf noticing they had gotten Zarko's attention. She came jogging over, grabbing Radexi by the ear as she snatched the slate, yelling something at him. She then hauled him towards Jarex and was throwing him at the dragon, as the young man struggled to not fall over. Then she turned back to Saf, looking very unhappy, while jotting something down. "Later," was all it said, as she slammed the slate into Marko's stomach, gesturing at Jarex as she shouted something at Jackie, who responded by quickly running over, looking like a kid that got caught somewhere she should not have been right now. Saf just grumbled, as her shoulders sagged. There was no arguing who needed the attention right now, after all. It wasn't like there was anything to do now anyway. They had wounded to tend to, after all. Jarex, once again, one of them. Marko had come around in front of her, sidling into her field of view while holding the tablet. "You feeling alright?" "I guess. Know anyone that can put my ears back together?" Saf jested with another sigh. "Cole can. She's patched Twitch before," came the reply after a bit. "Right then," was all Saf could think to answer. The healer would be busy for quite a while, that much was for certain. Liars took precedence over hearing. Any idiot knew that. "I will go fetch her, she owes me a favour," the young man replied, running off after handing the slate to Sapphire, who just sat there pondering if she should try to stop him, not reaching a conclusion before he was already gone. Galore had come down in the grass a bit away from the Crash Black, who, by the looks of it, had finally given up. "Oh, you are in a world of shit now," Galore chuckled darkly, as she slowly walked up to the Black Dragon, lowering a wing for Tom and the others to get off. "You broke one of my blades! My favourite at that!" The Black Dragon just moved ahead a bit to see them better, letting out a pain breath. "Move and I'll kill you, very painfully," Galore reiterated, staring her down. The Black Dragon still didn't reply, instead just staring up at Galore with her one good eye. "Mind giving us a proper introduction now?" Tom questioned, as he walked down Galore's wing, not walking any closer, rifle loaded and in his hands. "Fuck you, you malformed little cunt. The hell are you even?" Tom, the resident human, introduced himself with a slight sarcastic bow. "I would just like to know a few things, really quite—" "Who told me who I am and what I was after?" The Black Dragon cut him off, in a very much not friendly tone. "Well, that would be a good start," Tom admitted, looking her over. She was a mess, blue blood leaking from the deep stab wounds in her chest, at least one leg that he could see was completely mangled, another twisted the wrong way as she laid on top of it. "Tell us and we might help put you back together." "No one, me, and money," she coughed up, staring him down. "Now my question. Why do you sound like such a retard?" "Because this is my sixth language by now, so shut up and listen up," Tom snapped, not really appreciating her tone, much as he could understand her point of view. "Tell me why you came here. What were you after? It's not like you have anyone left to snitch on. If so, just don't mention them. I get that part." "And why in all of holy hell and heaven would I do that?" the dragon retorted, wincing afterwards, clearly in great pain. "You would get to live. I don't think you get to your age without a decent survival instinct," Tom countered. "Bah! She just hides behind others if she thinks there is any danger. Even killed a few of her own today thanks to her incompetence," Galore added in, Tom cursing a little to himself. "Great job convincing the prisoners to speak. Really, thanks a lot." "And you sent the kid ahead of you to take the brunt of it," the Black Dragon replied in a pained tone, as she moved ahead a little, letting out a low whimper. "My son! I needed to see what he would do. Now tell Tom here what he needs to know, and I might actually help them put you back together, so I can get a little bonus to bring you in alive." "For a life in the mines? No thank you. You know, Galore, you are a shitty shot." "And you are a shitty flyer, Ildren. It is Ildren, right?" "Oh, fuck off." "Wait, you know each other?" Tom broke out, looking back at Galore, who had her head held high. "No," she replied with a sigh, "but I've seen her before. Used to run a mercenary business to protect certain areas about a century ago. But a piece of crap like this can't do that now, can she?" Galore continued very sarcastically, sitting down on her haunches. "They didn't get hurt. We kept the bad crap away, and they paid us for it." "Yeah, until they didn't want to pay, and then you kind of made them," Galore rebuked. "Some would call that extortion." "And the guard is any different? A small keep that gets one of you idiots deployed will be bankrupt by the end of the year, and now you are leaving them all behind as you run away and hide. At least we didn't run." "Tom, have you seen anyone run today?" Galore questioned, seemingly unfazed as she glanced down at him. He was trying to keep up right now with all that info, deciding he might as well play along. Apparently Galore knew at least a little about this particular piece of work, and he was hardly an expert on dragon interrogations anyway. Well, none of us that I could see. "Nessie, Fengi, Bo, was it?" Galore questioned, looking between the three Huntresses. "No, ma'am," came the uniform reply. "Seems you are the only coward here," Galore concluded, looking back to Idril. "I'm also willing to guess you are out here precisely because we are pulled back from the frontier." "Congratulations, you do have a brain." "Yes, I know, but you seemingly don't. Why the hell would you attack a keep with no less than 5 dragons on the same damn island, you absolute retard?" "'Cause you had to be sitting on something good," Idril replied with a sigh, seeming very defeated right now. "No, I'm not that dumb. You didn't risk messing with a keep under royal guard protection on a hunch. You better tell me and we can make this painless, unless you really would prefer to go back to the mines." "Look, everyone in the capital has been at least mentioning this damn keep. It doesn't take a genius to figure out there is something special here." "And the reports of successfully repelling attack after attack?" "Doesn't matter, if you aren't home." "Well, we kind of are," Tom interjected, looking at her quizzically. "Well, not according to my scouts you weren't," Idril snapped, her tone somewhere between fury and disappointment. "This idiot really does like talking," Tom mused to himself. "Says she won't say anything, then just doesn't shut up." Right, so you hear about a little keep in the middle of nowhere that had something valuable and decide you need help? I don't believe you. You should have been able to see our deployment orders. Don't tell me that Red was your protege or something and just so happened to be coming along? Galore questioned, clearly not impressed. Sure he is. Been working on him for years, Idril responded. Tom catching on by now that she was quite likely lying. He is quite the fighter. Was, you mean? Tom interjected. I'm sorry, ugly one. Say again? He was, Tom reiterated. Dead now, of course. Your son scored a kill? Idril questioned, looking up. Seemed more curious than upset. No, that idiot for Red couldn't even save himself against a keep dweller. Now, I would like to hear some truths, old girl. This is going to get painful, Galore went, getting up to loom over Idril, taking a few steps closer. Look, can't you just be nice and tell us? Fengi broke, moving forwards alongside Galore, looking at the dragon pleadingly. We have kids. Older Puma who loves telling stories. Ray who just keeps working away trying to prove she's a worthy addition here. They took me off the streets. We took in the kids from Highstyle after it was burnt to the ground. We're good people. Can't you just be a little nice and tell us? We need to know. Look, girl, life ain't all cake and rainbows. I'm here for the money and lots of it. Then tell some fills or something. It's not that hard, Fengi protested, holding up her arms. And slave away for the rest of my life for scraps? For people that will throw me out when winter comes or times get tough? Huh? Is that what I should do, you dumb little street rat? Idril replied, raising her head. Galore opening her jaws as Tom felt the hairs in his neck stand on end. They won't if they need you, Fengi replied, taking a step back defensively. No one needs you forever. You always need friends. You kick out the arsehole, so just try to be nice, okay? Fengi tried again. Galore closing her jaws as Idril lowered her head back down while glancing at Galore. The blue dragon looking to Fengi curiously. And I need to shut up, Idril replied with a sigh. I'm not going to the mine, so I'm going to die here either way. Just get it over with. Oh, shut up, you don't want to die. I'm guessing you are planning on trying to escape before you get there. I've heard dragons pull that off before, Galore says, still looking at Fengi. Fengi? Try telling her a bit more forcefully.